Hey everybody, so this has been a very busy day for me. We're doing a few different videos today, right back to back. I just got done with showing people how to make their own butter, so that's coming up in a future video, because I'm posting this one as soon as I can. So future video, learn how to make your own butter at home for so much cheaper than at the store. So I was contacted, I don't know, it's been a while ago, and I'll tell you why here in a minute, by this guy named Core, who's become a quick buddy. He's a funny dude from South Africa, and he said, "Hey man, I saw you on Smith Family Ranches live. I checked you out. I like what you're all about. Do you want to do a collaboration?" And I said, "Sure. What do you have in mind?" And he brought up the idea of comparing how I do steak. Now I do steak a few different ways, but one way that I do it most is sous vide, with how he does steak in South Africa that he calls a braai. I think that R is rolled. I can't do that, so stick with me. I think it's called a braai in South Africa. It's basically grilling your steak in a wood-fueled fire instead of charcoal or propane or something like that. And I really like how they do it, because he builds his teepee and he starts the steak off the side so it can render the fat, and then he'll throw the steak on there to cook it on both sides. And I really like that idea. I'm going to be looking for a charcoal grill that I can do this on from time to time. Most of my cooking is usually done last minute. I don't plan ahead. And so that's one reason why the sous vide is so nice, because I can throw the meat in the sous vide machine. Now, if you're unfamiliar what sous vide is, it's cooking under vacuum. I use vacuum loosely because unless I'm really ambitious, I don't break out the vacuum sealer. I just use Ziploc bag and I put it down in the water slowly and let the air out, and you let the water kind of vacuum seal it-ish. But it keeps it at a constant temperature, so I can have it cooking to the level of doneness that I want. Then all I have to do is sear the outside, and the inside is cooked perfect, and then the outside has, you know, that Maillard effect, or that crust, depending on how you sear it, which I showed a couple videos ago using both the heat gun and my torch, which is my go-to method. It's also delicious on cast iron when I can do it outside. Otherwise it gets really smoky in the house, and that's no fun for anybody. So one thing that both of us kind of had to do was improvise. Core doesn't have a sous vide machine, so I let him know about Alex the French Guy Cooking and how he did it in a beer cooler, just one of the small little square coolers. And the only difference between that and a sous vide machine is there's no circulation with it. But because it holds the heat so well, he can keep it a perfect temperature inside that beer cooler and still get the sous vide effect, even though it's not circulating. So it's wonderful. Now, he mentioned doing a rump steak. I looked in 3 different grocery stores. I don't think that's a cut that's very popular in the U.S. He also mentioned T-bone, and with the beef prices skyrocketing like they are, T-bone was just out of my price range. I mean, it was $40 for, it was $30 for one steak, and then I could get 2 for like $40, and I wasn't ready to drop that kind of coin. My go-tos are typically New York strip. I really like New York strip. That's just what we're doing tonight. We're doing an in-bone New York strip. And then ribeye, just because ribeye is good. So I'm improvising with the meat, and I'm also going to improvise with the cook. It's taken me a while. I think he put his side of the video out where he compared the two a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago. We've got nothing but rain, and today finally looked like it was going to be the day to do it. But as I look out the window, it's super dark to the northwest of us, and I can see the trees blowing pretty good. So I'm still going to do this outside. I don't have the charcoal, so I can't make a wood fire. So what I'm going to use is my charcoal chimney, and I'm going to use hardwood lump charcoal. So it's not like I'm using the charcoal briquettes. I'm just going to use lump hardwood that they've, taken all the moisture out and turned it into charcoal, which is usually my preferred charcoal. I usually don't like the Kingsford or anything like that. I like the cowboy charcoals is what I hear it referred to. Just like always with sous vide steak, you're going to want to season it heavily before you put it in the water bath. No wonder the temperature hasn't been going up on this. You got to turn your machine on for it to work. So you season it heavily before you put it in the water bath. You can season it afterwards. Hannah prefers it that way. I don't. I think it makes it a little too salty. And then when you're searing it, you're not so much searing the meat, you're more burning the seasoning. So when I do separate bags, I'll do hers her way and mine my way. Usually I just do salt, pepper, garlic powder. This time I'm going to add some of this Gator sprinkle from Gator Hammock. This is an incredible seasoning that we just picked up on a whim at the grocery store. I'm like, I'll try it. They also have one I'll get next time because I try not to buy too many at once. I want to see if I like it and get through most of the bottle before I get another one. They have one called Kilter Rub that is for chicken, so I'm going to get that. It's kind of like another version of Everglades. Made here in Florida. This one is made in Felda, Florida. I have no idea where that is, but this is freaking delicious. So we're going to throw this on the steaks as well. So let me go ahead. I'll get this set up. I'll get it in the water bath. They're thin steaks. Typically, I let them go an hour to 2 hours. I'm probably only going to let this one go for 30, 45 minutes. Basically long enough to get my charcoal chimney hopefully done before the storm gets here. And it cooked on there. I'm going to season both of them the same way. I'm going to cook them the same way. Or not the same way. I'm going to cook them at the same time. And we'll be interested to see what the difference is. Now, I've cooked on charcoal before, but I've never done a side-by-side comparison of charcoal and sous vide. Who knows? Maybe all this time I've been propping up sous vide at how wonderful it is and really annoying my buddy Josh that I'll be like, oh, it's better on the charcoal chimney. So, I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to find it out. But if you haven't checked out Bearded Hobby Homestead, please go check them out. They're a really cool channel. They're a fairly young channel, and they're growing. So please go check them out. Again, they're from South Africa, so if you want to hear them talk funny, there you go. You can go do that. It's a whole lot different than my hillbilly voice. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started, and we'll see how it works. Let me throw this in the bag, and then I'll go ahead and go get the charcoal chimney started and hope I can get all this done before the rain. See what I'm talking about? Heavy seasoning. All right. So we have that going in the sous vide, and let's go get the other stuff started. Okay. All right, so the storm's coming in, and so instead of doing it on a paver stone on the ground, which is what I usually do, I'm going to do it in here in hopes that the lid, I can't close it, but will kind of block the rain a little bit. This is my first time ever trying to start it with my blowtorch. So we're going to see if this works. If not, I'll get some paper. I just didn't want to have paper burning with the wind blowing the way it is. So let me see. Seems to be working all right. I do believe you have just witnessed how I'm going to start this thing from now on. I like it. Let me go grab the steak. This is awesome. This is the best I've ever had a fire going in my charcoal chimney. I will be doing it this way more often and starting it with that blowtorch. All right.
Daddy, that's a beautiful way. I think it's a beautiful way
you think?
Yeah.
But what's the point of having a propane grill if I do this all the time? Careful.
That is beautiful cooking. That cooking is beautiful. You should do this every time because it's beautiful when you do it this way. That is beautiful. That is so beautiful.
This isn't bird of beef, but I'm gonna flip it every minute for the good grill marks. I guess I did go a little bit more than just S&P, right?
But Daddy's cooking really well. But
That looks beautiful.
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
Look at that, y'all.
Like and subscribe to this video, or this fire will walk into your mouth while you're sleeping.
You're weird. I'm gonna go put some butter on it, let it rest, and I may sear the other one out here. I think that's what I'm gonna do. That's what he did, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so here's my sous vide steak. Remember, as always, it's gray. It's not very good looking, so we're gonna throw it on here. Whoa! Whoa! We're gonna throw it on there and just let it sear. We're not gonna cook it as long as we did the other steak, and then we'll pull it off and we'll get to compare. All right, let's go ahead and get this resting with some butter on it. We're stopping a little early because the storm's really starting to come in and I want to get some water on these coals. All right, so we have our two different steaks here. We have this one that I can already tell is going to be too rare for Hannah. This is, we're going to say in the style of, because it's not the exact way that Cora cooked it, but this is, we're going to say the imitation brie version. And this here is the sous vide. The sous vide is a little bit thinner. I didn't get quite the bark on it because as you saw, the skies got really, really dark. So, but we're gonna compare the two. We're gonna both try it. Maybe Owen will try it. Do you want to try it, Goober? It's steak.
Oh, I'll try it.
Oh, okay. Come on over here and we'll let you guys know which we think is better, at least with this steak. I'm still partial, but we're gonna see here. So we'll go with the brie style first.
I'm really scared to try it.
Steak.
Oh no.
Oh, that is juicy. That is juicy. Not too bad cooked up there and there. I think that's pretty well cooked. We'll go ahead and cut everybody a piece.
No,
It's just steak, honey.
I forgot.
It's just steak.
It's steak.
Hannah's. Owen.
It's probably good.
Right now. Come stand over here so they can see it. And mine.
Yummy.
That was pretty bomb steak. All right, now we're gonna go sous vide. It did overcook. It's so thin. Throwing it on that super high heat, it just cooked it the rest of the way. So this is not a fair representation of sous vide. Huh?
I like the seasoning of this one, but the char of that one.
Yeah. Double time. Stand right here. All right. Here's your sous vide one.
Wait, is this one from the sous vide?
Yep.
I'm not so great at the grill one.
It's definitely more tender. The seasoning is much more pronounced. But I think with this steak, I like the other one better.
I like the flavor of
Okay.
this one, but the char of that one.
Well, do you want the flavor or the char for dinner? Good. This one's more rare anyhow. All right, so there we have it. The my sous vide version, which I contend was not a fair representation of sous vide, and the brie. I do think I want to do this again with a thick ribeye. I would enjoy that. Again, thank you, Cora, for shouting us out, wanting to do this together. If you haven't gone and checked out the Bearded Hobby Homestead, please head over and do that right now. I'll put a link in the description, or maybe I'll do it a card, or maybe I'll do it both. I haven't decided yet. We'll see what happens when I sit down at the computer. They're a really cool channel, and y'all be self-sufficient, help everyone you can, inconvenience no one. Have a good day. Bye.